And hello,
Helldivers.
everybody. Welcome to.
And we're live!
And we're
Hi,
live.
we're live. I was talking.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Welcome to the Fully Rendered Podcast. It is episode 28, and the time has all aligned. It's no longer daylight, whatever fuckery there is. We're all
Thank God.
back on regular schedule until October, until it fucks up again.
Raw dogging time right now.
Yes. But yes, hello everyone. Welcome. We have had to skip an episode due to our favorite Peachy being at a convention last weekend.
He's such a peach.
He is such a peach. So Peachy, do you want to?
That was really camp. I enjoyed that, Brian. It's more camp shit.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, do you want to regale us with your stories of Insomnia, the convention, and explain what it is?
Okay, so Insomnia is a biannual. I mean, twice a year.
I'm not sure, if I'm entirely honest. I was thinking this earlier.
Twice a year. I think that means it's biannual.
I would assume so.
But that implies bi-yearly. Anyway, it's twice a year. And I'm probably going to go to the next one. It was fun. It's a video game convention in the Birmingham NEC. Huge, massive. There was a bunch of people there, but the space was so big it wasn't like we've all been to festivals and concerts and shit like that, and it's just like there is a lot of people here. I think I put on a mask once because I was like, oh, there are a lot of people here right now. So yeah, there was a lot of people there and a lot of stands, but because of the size of the venue, it didn't feel like, oh my god. I don't really have a problem with huge crowds, but it didn't feel like I couldn't move through crowds.
Is it the pincushion?
The pincushion.
Yeah, the venue. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it literally looks like a giant pincushion.
I know it's like multiple things. It's the NEC in Birmingham. I know.
Okay.
It's massive. Outside, everyone be really happy. There was the Bear Grylls experience.
Oh my god.
The Bear Grylls experience. Go on.
Yeah, so there's a whole building that is now called the Bear Grylls experience, and there's like rope climbing stuff. There's the back of a Chinook that you do a thing out of. I didn't feel like drinking my own piss, so I didn't go. And
There was no hotel specials either.
in there. I mean, there is a hotel right across the road from the Bear Grylls experience, so it's very accurate to screen. Also, he's making a TV show. He's not actually surviving in the wild. He's just trying to give information.
That's why I asked.
Give him, like, come on.
No,
Anyway.
it's fine. My husband is a big fan of Bear Grylls, and I've woken up to listening to him so many times where I asked him, please stop putting it on when I'm sleeping.
That makes it sound so much more sinister. It's just like what is he doing while watching Bear Grylls?
It's time for Bear Grylls.
It's more like you wake up and it's like, I don't know if you guys, like, it happens to you when you're like half asleep, whatever like outside sounds might invade your dream, like your subconscious, and you're like, what is going on? Why am I dreaming about drinking piss?
And it's like elephant dung and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you wake up and it's like, oh, it's Bear Grylls again.
Right.
I fall asleep listening to Warhammer lore.
I fall asleep to like comedy shows because I'm like The Good Place and stuff, or Always Sunny.
See, I'm so vanilla when it comes to that because I like listening to the sound of rain or like ASMR stuff or things like that when I want to try and fall asleep. Then you guys have got like Warhammer.
I grew up in like the valley where there was like a lot of traffic and a lot of outside noise. So when it's too quiet, I hate it. And sounds of like rain and stuff like that, just it doesn't relax me. I like hearing like constant chatter and stuff. Like it just makes me feel a little bit more at ease, oddly.
Right. No,
Yeah, I grew up and spent most of my life in cities, so I need like
So,
and
okay,
the
so you
nearest
understand
road
PG.
where I live is like you can hear the cars, but it's not enough cars.
Yeah.
Right.
Not enough cars.
When I first moved here, it's so quiet at night that I started having to turn on the TV. It was just, I could not sleep. It just kept me straight awake. And things like fan, like I know I have friends who like would put on fans or like turn on like white noise channels, and it's like, no, that's even worse. That's so
Right.
much worse. And so I need to hear like chatter. Like when I lived by myself, I would always have a TV show or something or a video on YouTube on just so I could hear something behind me, so I didn't feel so like isolated. It's weird.
Are you sensitive?
So insomnia.
Oh yeah, insomnia. Yeah, go ahead.
I
I'm
wanted
sorry.
to make this a sleeping podcast. But no, go on,
Sleeping
insomnia.
See, for me, if it's a sleeping podcast, I need to hear the sounds of war.
Yeah. For the Emperor.
Yeah, so it's mostly a video game focused convention. There was a bunch of video games
Okay.
there and video game related things. There was also a bunch of nerd stuff like stalls, and you can buy stuff there from foam Molniers to body pillows to
Did you buy a
gaming
body pillow?
pillows. I didn't actually play many games there. They had a huge LAN section, but it was a bring your own equipment LAN section, which,
How does that figure?
well, it's, you book LAN time so you can play some kill deathmatch with your mates. And stuff,
Okay.
you know,
So like
kinda
you bring
deal.
like a laptop or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's what I wanted
Or
to
a
know.
small form factor PC.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that was cool, but I didn't book any time there, so I didn't go in there. They had a bunch of original hardware retro arcades, which was pretty cool. And
That's
I
sick.
think of all the places in the con, that was the most rammed at all times. I think I once was like, oh, there is a game free. It wasn't one I particularly wanted to play, but there was a game free. So it was cool that everyone's like, oh shit, yeah, retro games and stuff. But it sucked because I could never get in there and play a game.
Right.
I went with other creators as well, so there were points where I'm like, I'll hold the bags, wait here while you go and do your creator stuff. Who did I meet? I saw Pyrocynical, who was on it all weekend. Like he was working at his stall for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and he was on it. And I'm not. Pyrocynical's okay. I like some of his videos, but I'm not like, oh my god, it's Pyrocynical. But fair play, he was on it all weekend, and that's got to be some hard work. Like,
Yeah, no, that is for
the
sure.
queues were huge. They had a tank there. They had like the army there. I don't know.
The
They
army?
had a little gazebo where people were in like meta quests, and I'm like, are you showing them war crimes? Oh, it's off with orange. What is happening?
It's virtual reality waterboarding.
It may be. I don't know. No, they were.
You want to be tortured?
Playing games, and there was a guy with the British Army has a new rifle. It's an American AR platform rifle.
Okay.
And it's really light. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, okay. Well, Spider made. We'll get onto that. It's an AR rifle, which is weird for the British Army to have. But it was really light, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They can carry more war crimes with them. I don't know. What does the army do? They just do what they're told, right?
Pretty much, to be
Basically,
fair.
yeah.
At least
that was
the layman soldier, at least.
Yeah, that was right by the Pyrocynical tent. So I'm not going tinfoil here.
Sponsored by war crimes. Pyrocynical.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh no.
Oh, they had a monster stall, and on the last day, they were trying to get rid of as much monster as possible, and I literally grabbed as much as I could carry.
How many did you get home or take home?
How many did I get home? Less than I grabbed because I was drinking them. I don't know. I don't know. I think I've got about 6 left.
Nice.
5 or 6 left. That was cool. Like the end, there's always discounts, and like the big stalls are just trying to get rid of this stuff because they don't want to lug it back across the country or whatever. There wasn't much wargaming there, which I wasn't expecting much, but I was expecting the odd thing. The only wargaming thing I found there was one single box of Tau, and I wasn't really in the mood for sushi at the time, so that is a funny joke if you know what Warhammer is. Okay?
Which I do not.
Actually, they did have a little painting section around the board game area. And they had these 3D printed miniatures, which you could paint there. I painted this at home because I was like, can I have one? And they gave me 2.
No.
That's That's actually really cool.
I painted this. They were doing painting there. That was cool. There was a lot of D&D, but I don't know. There wasn't anything that was like wow, apart from the cosplay. Every single day they had a cosplay competition, and as the weekend progressed, they got more and more mental. Like I went into the stage for the cosplay every single day because it was just so good. It was a real fun time. But it wasn't like wow.
Was there any notable cosplay that you saw?
There was a great Bastion. There was a brilliant there's a TV show Vikings, I think it's called.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I know about, or was it Vikings or the Northmen? I know there's that one too.
They both exist, yeah. But Vikings is a show.
There's a lot of Viking shows.
There's Vikings, the Last Kingdom. There's a bunch of, but yeah. Vikings is one of them.
But okay, whatever.
Made her chainmail and stuff.
That's sick.
It was pretty cool. There was also a cosplay of Ultra Kill on day 2, I think, and I don't think anyone knows what Ultra Kill is.
Aww.
But I'm a big boomer shooter guy, so I was like, "That is the coolest one."
You told me about Ultra Kill. I've yet to play it yet.
Yeah. It is absolutely dope.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things.
On the last day, they were the winner of that was going to go represent the UK in Japan for some cosplay show.
Nice.
And the Viking lady won, which was cool. I did think the Bastion.
She made her own chainmail, then she deserved it for sure.
It was a full Bastion cosplay, like just
like the game Bastion,
robot. Like Overwatch Bastion.
Oh, okay. So, I've seen I used to work WonderCon a lot, and I worked Comic-Con before, and I remember there was one year I was at LA WonderCons. Yeah, there was somebody who did the huge mech. Same, but it was a diva instead. So yeah, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. It was huge. That's
fun. The cosplayer had a retinue to guide through because you could the suit was just all encompassing, and I think they had a window this big to see through. I had issue with my Spider-Man mask on, so whoever was doing that, fair play for not destroying the entire con by walking into something.
Yeah.
I bet they had a bunch of esports there. It was a good con, but there was nothing there that I was like, wow. I would have been sad if I missed this, but it was a real fun time. Cons are just generally fun because you get to do whatever you want to do, and there's a lot of nerd paraphernalia there to indulge in. But I didn't actually spend that much money there. So as soon as I came home, I went to the hobby shop and I bought paint, £50 worth of paint.
All of the paint. I always find that
just clean them out. It's just Peachy going in and doing that with.
Well, I had this money in bookmarks, right, for the con because cons are fairly expensive, and there's always tools. I only bought some dice from there.
So, is Insomnia? Is it a big convention? How crowded was it?
Like I said, it wasn't crowded.
Okay. Oh yeah, you said that. I'm sorry.
But there was a lot of people there. I think the size of the venue was perfect because it wasn't dead, but it wasn't
so it was a decent sized one.
Walk,
Okay. Yeah, those are the worst. I don't go to conventions personally.
40K.
So and it's a lot because I'm short and big crowds. It's people walk into me. So for the most part, I've only worked conventions. So and it's kind of nice because you could kind of hide behind your booth. It's pretty great in that aspect. So that's always my first question is how many people were actually there, because sometimes there's too many people where I'll be like, I'll walk out. I'm that jerk.
Yeah, it's 40,000.
40,000. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's a pretty decent size. That's a good size, and it didn't feel crowded.
The main gaming convention in the UK, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So our conventions are generally quite limited, usually to either London or small. Basically, we're good for festivals, music festivals. We have huge ones. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to nerd culture, the conventions and stuff are usually quite small and local. We have one here in Nottingham called MCon, which is basically East Midlands Con, which is maybe 10,000 people, if that, maybe not even that. But it's quite small, whereas everything else is Comic Con London. I think there's an anime con in London as well, and that's about it. So
yeah, where I live, because I'm in Los Angeles, and like I said, WonderCon, I went when it was in when it was in LA, and it was also in Anaheim. And Anaheim wasn't as bad as the LA Convention Center. And I worked the San Diego Comic-Con, and I can't remember much of what was going on there because it was just such a clusterfuck. Like it's so many people. Like I would get so overwhelmed by crowds that I would just stay behind the booth.
Mm.
And it's easy to stay on when you're like at the booth, and you know, you just like you're just interacting with people. But I also worked at Anime Expo. That was the last one I worked, and it's the last convention I probably would work because I got hired by Square Enix to cosplay for Final Fantasy 15's Windows version release.
Mm.
So I actually have the cosplay like up here. It's up on this shelf. But the booth, it was for Cooler Master. That it was like we were being hosted by them, and it was over 100 degrees outside, and the booth was outdoors. I got heat stroke twice in that weekend.
Damn.
Yeah. So like it kind of desensitized me from ever going to a convention ever again. I went to work. I started my job where I work now, like the next week. My legs were covered in like a bright red heat rash just from the heat and because it took two people to get me in and out of the costume.
Right.
Like I would put on my own. I came in with like a base layer, and everything was 3D printed. They had to strap everything, like attach everything, and they ended up giving me the costume because Square Enix commissioned them to make it, so they couldn't resell it, and it was made to my measurements.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, that part was cool, but it's like, I was decently compensated, but it was like, but at what cost, man? I almost died.
What cost?
Twice. I almost died.
I also saw Cynical Brit. There was actually a Yorkshire tea van there, and I'm pretty sure that's because of them.
Right.
I met Finster.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they were pretty damn chill, but they looked exhausted. I think they'd been meeting people all day.
Probably.
One of the creators I went with, Finster, actually watches their content.
Right.
So he was just chatting. I was like, "Oh, hello, random."
Right. Yeah, because it's the main UK one. It's pretty much where all the UK creators go. So like Josh Strife Hayes, Up Is Not Jump, etc. I believe they probably all went there.
Yeah, I didn't see Up Is Not Jump. I saw Josh Strife Hayes, but I've met him before.
I'd like to meet Josh. He seems like a really nice bloke. I just want to like shake his hand and be like, "I like your content, thank you," and then just leave and just say nothing more. Just like, who was that guy? Why does he look like a pirate? Kind of thing. Why was he so complimentary of my content? But yeah, but hopefully I can go to Insomnia soon. I'm always of the mind, like, when I go to conventions, even when I went to TwitchCon, I'm always sometimes considering not actually buying the ticket for the convention because I spend 90% of my time with people outside of it. Like when we go to TwitchCon, it's usually we'll meet up out at a certain point. Like when it was in San Diego, we'd meet up at Coyote Ugly, which was just basically the dive bar we constantly went to. And we'd go into the convention, maybe the artist alley, maybe look around some of the stalls, and then we'd be like, okay, we've spent an hour, let's leave and go back to the pub. Then we'd just go there and meet with everyone else and just get hammered.
The problem with that, Brian, is Insomnia is in Birmingham.
Brum's all right. Like, Brum City Centre is actually really nice.
Not if you've got a car.
It's the outside of Brum.
To be
fair, when it was in San Diego, downtown San Diego is a very, very nice area. So there's a lot to do. And you're also by the beach. But like, where I was, even like the LA Convention Center, there's so much going on around it. So like, you don't, like, when I went to the WonderCon when it was in LA, it was at the LA Convention Center. Like, the only time I ever left the booth is I went to the Hooters across the street to go get a beer with one of the other models I was working with. Like, it's as much as whenever I wasn't, like, I was allowed to leave, you stay outside. It's just more fun to be outside. And there's like, because people you can actually interact with people. And it's a shame because I never see the booths, but like,
well, I was actually quite lucky because Gaming FTL lives in Birmingham. We're good
Mhm.
friends, so like a bunch of us went to his house, played board games, ate a pizza.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that was super fun.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So I didn't have to go out. I wouldn't have wanted to go out anywhere, but yeah, I didn't have to. And I spent most of the time in the convention. I think I think it's September is the next one. I might go as a creator because I just went to go
Yeah.
and just, go to a because I've never been to a proper con. I've been to
Yeah.
smaller comic cons and stuff like that, but I've never been to a large scale proper convention. So I
Mhm.
just kind of wanted to go.
No, that's fun. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah. I hope to go at some point. Probably not this year. Although fingers
To
crossed, maybe.
Insomnia?
Yeah, like because it's the thing is like since I've done content creation and streaming in particular, the vast majority of the creators that I know are North American based.
Mhm.
And it's just like it would be a good opportunity to make friends with other UK creators. Like literally like
Yeah.
60% of my audience is North American. And almost
Yeah.
everyone who I have like an established friendship with is North American. I'm just like, I want some friends over here. Like I've spoken to Tash a couple
Yeah.
of times, like obviously via streams and stuff, never met her in real life. And then
Oh yeah, Tash was working the floor the entire time, so I got to see her a bunch of times.
That's cool. That's cool.
And she had to hug me in my Spider-Man maid outfit, otherwise we wouldn't be friends anymore.
Right. No, makes sense completely. Who else? Like I can't even think of that many people. There's I always forget her name. She really likes bugs, but and lives in Scotland somewhere. But there's like there's two people that I can name that are UK creators. So I always want to go to like Insomnia because everyone goes there because it's the only like nerdy.
All
gamer one,
my
or-
friends are creators, like all of them.
Yeah, well, well, a lot of my friends in the UK are just my regular IRL friends who don't give a fuck about gaming, like bar two people. Whereas all of my creator friends, they're all American, literally every single one, apart from like those two that I just mentioned. And so it's just like,
my friend group is very split. Like I have either like Twitch, like video game creators, or it's like entirely like models, which is nice. But the girls I can't talk to about a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%.
It's a very split group for me.
Yeah,
It's fine, and then I have like my own like personal friends too. But it's I mean conventions like I said, like for me it's I'm so close to a lot of them, but it's I have so little patience for them, like conventions, and a lot of it has to do with just working them for so long that it's like I don't the concept of like I've made plans with people around conventions, like people will come visit LA for like LA Anime Expo because I know that's a big one, and I do have a lot of friends who are cosplayers, and I'll meet up with them after the convention or something.
Yeah.
That's what I prefer. Not to actually go to them. It's just a little too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm genuinely considering like if I go to TwitchCon either later this year or next year, just not actually getting a TwitchCon ticket because it is literally maybe an hour or two that I spend in the convention across the weekend, and it's just like cool. I looked at Artist Alley, bought some merch I could have bought from X, Y, and Z's person's store directly, kind of thing, and then maybe go to the Kappa Cabana. Like, even when we do go in the convention, it's like, we need a drink and we're going to drink outside, so let's go to the Kappa Cabana. So we end up going there, paying overpriced convention drinks, and then we go, it's cheaper at the bar and there's better music at the KOTOR bar that we're at. Let's just go back there. And then we go to the Penny Arcade, which is just across the road from it and stuff like that. So I'm a very social person. I prefer just to hang out with people rather than walking around stalls and stuff like that. I did work the Jackbox Games stage at one point. That was back in 2018, I think it was. And ever since, they've sent me a copy of their games, which is really nice. Even the last one, they were just like, here's a copy of our Jackbox Games pack.
That's nice of them. I love hearing that.
Yeah, and they sent me a t-shirt at one point. I'm like, oh, cool. I haven't played one of your games in years, but this is lovely. It was a nice t-shirt as well, but yeah. And it's just the way it is. And especially for a Brit going over to California where the weather is fucking majestic and you can just be like...
Majestic.
It is. it's so nice because it's dry heat. It's
It
not
doesn't fucking
UK heat.
rain. That is unnatural.
It's beautiful. Fuck off. Stop ruining my
It's been
weather.
raining, dude. It just rained like crazy, like for a brief moment yesterday, and it snowed in the Bay Area.
I live in South Wales. We don't say it's raining because it's always raining.
It's just reality.
We only point out when it isn't, which doesn't come up that often.
Oh, it's Ray. Don't worry, we can listen to Ray back. But yeah, like every time I go to California, I'm just like vests, shorts, just outside. I'm like, this is amazing. Because in the UK, when it gets warm, like it's warm here now, it's 23 degrees in this room, and I'm sweating my bollocks off. Whereas when I go to well, either LA, Long Beach, San Diego, etc., all good. It'll be like 30+ degrees and I'll be fine because it's nice and dry and just like, yeah, let's just hang out in the sun, enjoy the weather. And then in the evenings, it cools down a bit. It's just really, really, really nice, especially when you're so bogged down in the humidity here in the UK.
It's funny because like I'm I'm born and raised in LA, and I've had like people come visit, and like they like like with the weather, it's like I'm so acclimated to the dry heat. Like I had someone who came over just from the East Coast. This was years ago, like I was 18 or something. And I think it was like 100 or some odd degrees during the day. And it depends on the area too, because like San Diego is very, very humid, where like, what was it, TwitchCon said? And I like that the marine layer drives me up a wall because whenever I pass through it, I can't breathe because I'm so acclimated to the dry heat. But anyway, when sometimes our summer, especially in summer, like the nights will either they'll stay in the hundreds, or sometimes like they'll go down to like to 70 from 100 and some odd, and I'm freezing. But for you, it's like majestic. I'm like, no, I hate it. I want to die.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the weather when I go there because it just feels.
No, it's very nice. It's nice. I've lived here my whole life for a reason.
Yeah. Like if I ever did move to the US, it probably would be like Southern California that I'd pick.
Yeah.
Like I did consider Austin, but it sounds like everyone who is a content creator is going to Austin, including the arseholes.
Yeah, the taxes.
That as well.
Why.
Yeah. Plus, I wouldn't want to be like in that one left-leaning city surrounded by a massive right-leaning like state around it.
If I didn't want to compromise my personal securities, I would consider it. Right. If I want to sacrifice the autonomy of my body, I would consider Texas. Yeah. But because you could get a lot for your money there. It's a big state. I think Texas is bigger than California. I can't confirm that. I know because California is like it's a long state.
Yeah.
It's long, so I don't know which is bigger. But I know like you can get so much for your money there, like a big property. Texas is way bigger. Thank you. Right. But you could get so much for your money there and get a lot of land.
But you can't own your own uterus.
No.
Yeah.
Nope, you cannot.
I don't think that's worth.
Yeah.
Which is why she's in California.
Okay, it's bigger. Yeah. And so I mean I'm very content staying on the coast. I think the only discussion we had was if I were to move anywhere, it would be probably like Colorado. He doesn't want to go to Oregon, but I like Oregon or
where all
Washington
the trails
State.
are.
Portland's really nice. It's very, very nice. It's a great artistic city. But I just want to stay on the coast. Right. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go south. I consider the East Coast. I'm fine with staying on the West.
That's
West Coast, best coast.
Seattle seems cool. It rains a lot there, right?
Yeah.
People don't sleep there.
Oh, nice.
There we go. I was waiting for it to say. I was like, I'm determined. I'm going to sit there until one of you fucking reacts.
My mom loves Meg Ryan, man. It took me a second. Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you got me. You've got me. This might appeal to you somewhat, Pulp. And I'm not casting any aspersions there, but did you see the the Waffle House tweet from Harada about Tekken 8?
No.
I didn't
Right.
see
Was
this.
there another fight at Waffle House? Because that's all that happens at Waffle Houses.
So basically, because of Tekken 8, loads of people have been tweeting at Harada and being like, yo, Mr. Harada, can you please add this image as a Tekken 8 stage, which is a picture of a Waffle House and the parking lot of a Waffle House? And so
That's perfect.
So
That's
he's
perfect.
like, why is everyone messaging me about this fucking Waffle House place? What's going on? Why do they want it? So people explained, and he was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. And for those who are not familiar with like the history of, or the lore of Waffle House, it's one of the like few establishments in the US that open like 24/7, is it?
There's quite a few, but it has a reputation of a lot of like drunk people go there
Yeah.
at night, and it's not. And
They
usually
only
it might
sell
be like,
waffles?
I've never been to a Waffle House, so I couldn't confirm. But I believe it's just a breakfast diner. There's other diners like,
Oh, right.
but I guess like the clientele that usually go there, it's usually they tend to start a lot of fights with the staff.
Yeah,
God.
like you may have seen a video at one point where someone just throws like a chair at one of the staff and the staff just bashes it out of the way. Those people
Yeah,
are
like,
hard. They know their
trained-
shit.
They're trained fighters that work there.
So
Yeah.
but basically after they explained it, he was like, oh, okay, I'll reach out to him. We can't just add it as a stage because of, you know, intellectual property and stuff. So if Waffle House don't jump on this opportunity,
Oh
they
my
are
God.
insane.
I will buy Tekken just
That
so
is
I can
the not
fight at the
great
Waffle
PR
House
for
stage.
Waffle
That
House,
would
though.
be like, you know, that's a bucket list right there. Like, I want to fight at a Waffle House. I just don't want to get hit. So
That's
play it in Tekken.
That's the thing. I bet a lot of people actually would. Like obviously American mostly based audience, but I think they absolutely would be like just purchase it and be like, look, it's fucking Waffle House kind of thing, just for that. You say it's bad PR, but I think at this point it would have to be something that Waffle House would have to.
Are you joking? It's good PR.
Yeah.
It's a meme at this point that you go to a Waffle House, you're going to expect a fight. I don't even think like I'm pretty sure the owners of whoever owns Waffle House runs it knows that like that's just their reputation at this point.
They probably instigate it. They sometimes go to their own stores and be like, yo, you should start a fight.
You know what would be really great for publicity?
Do it for the memes.
So
for
many
the memes.
waffles.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I would be shocked if they actually didn't jump on this opportunity.
Any publicity is good publicity. And if I guarantee you, like this would be nothing but good for Waffle House just to embrace the meme. It's not
like Donald Trump.
In a way, yeah. I mean, it works.
I could have said anyone there.
You could have.
Like, anyone with any kind of political gain. You could just
You're not wrong.
And it
not
does.
wrong.
It absolutely works.
Yeah,
embrace the memes.
Just get people talking about it. And if you put Waffle House in a Tekken, worse off, I'll buy Tekken. You'll probably sell more Tekken.
I don't see it happening, but I do see Tekken just making a waffle restaurant as a background.
Yeah.
I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
One fighting game has to do that. Some fighting game has to do that because it's just so good.
Where was it? There he is. Thanks for the explanation,
and it made me
guys.
want to eat waffles.
Yeah, so after he was replied to, he was just saying, thanks for the explanation, guys. I understand that many people are requesting it. However, I think you are missing one important point. The restaurant has both the trademark and the rights to the restaurant. So if the restaurant chain's headquarters refuses to accept my proposal, it will not happen. So he has made a proposal. I fucking love Harada. Harada's like so based, as the kids say.
I love that. Like, that's so great.
Because some of his tweets are like quite in depth and informative about like the games industry and stuff like that. And sometimes he's just really cut and dry to the point. He's like, all right, you fuckers want a Waffle House? I'll ask him, kind of thing. And he's just doing it. So I think that's genuinely amazing. And I would love to see it in Tekken 8. And apparently it's doing really well.
Easily, even if he can't get away with doing like a waffle restaurant, he could just do like a diner.
Yeah, it just happens to be yellow signage black
Yeah,
text.
or maybe just don't make
Okay,
it yellow
breakfast.
if he can't use the yellow.
Hmm.
Like, do a different color or something. Like, and there's so many like American style diners that look kind of similar to Waffle House. I think he could easily do something.
Yeah, I imagine he'll get away with something or other.
Oh, for sure. If Waffle House doesn't jump on this opportunity, I will be very disappointed, and I will never eat there, even though I can't go because they're not in California.
Like, I'm boycotting
You
you.
lost a customer that you never had.
Yeah. It's the way to do it.
No!
Oh,
As a former service worker, oh no!
I know. I used to work in service and retail, and yes, it's like oh no.
Have you seen
The
that
worst
meme
threat
where
ever.
someone's like, "You just lost yourself a customer," and a girl behind the counter turns around and just goes, "No!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do I used to work in a lot of malls, and I worked at a Starbucks for like a brief 30 month stint. And yeah, it's a great phrase to hear. You've lost a customer. Good.
It's like,
Oh,
thank fuck.
Then we'll only have good ones left.
Oh my god.
So, Hollow Knight Silksong. You guys excited about it?
No.
I still have yet
No.
to finish the first Hollow Knight, which is crazy because I love Metroidvanias and I just never got around to it. So
Right, that's fair.
You know, Hollow Knight, very authentic about its 2D roots, to
Mhm.
bit crush music, to limited color palettes and stuff. Did you know that is made on a 3D engine?
I
can
didn't know
kinda
because
see
I
it.
never really looked into it. But yeah, again, I
I
can
played
see
it
it.
a little bit. It looks good.
But it shows their commitment, like, because they're
Yeah.
using the 3D to put the parts of the screen in front of, bits and pieces.
Hmm.
And they didn't
I'm gonna
use
play
any
Hollow Knight
3D tech to do any of that parallax
for
stuff.
like an
in it.
hour.
They literally did it in 2D in a 3D engine. And that made me think even more, even better of them. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're like, no, we're sticking to this. We just have to use this
You
engine.
could kind of see it because I'm looking at the store page right now. I wanted to see how long I play like an hour of it. You can kind of see like the layered effect. It looks great.
Hmm.
Like it's such a beautiful
that-
game. I just never got
when
around.
when you've got parallax in the game, they're not
Mhm.
using the 3D engine to just rotate the camera to give you that parallax. They're actually doing it in 2D. Like that's how much they
Oh, okay. That's
committed
actually
to
really
2D.
cool. That is
Yeah.
very cool.
Well,
I just thought that was interesting. Sorry.
no.
No. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that.
100%.
Like you could kind of like I could see it now. Like just by like how everything's layered up.
Hmm.
That it would need to be in a 3D engine in order to do that.
So the thing with Silksong is, for those who don't know, which I imagine there's not many people who don't know, but it's supposed to be like the big expansion / sequel to Hollow Knight, and it's been very much anticipated for quite some time. It's
Mhm.
become a bit of a meme at this point because it was implied by Microsoft that it was going to be out at some point like this year, and then there's been no news at all since they made that implication. So people are like, every time there's a state of play or a Nintendo Direct, even though they have nothing to do with Hollow Knight, every time there's like a game news thing, people are like, oh, we're going to get some Hollow Knight news. We're going to get out some Hollow Knight
Hollow
news.
Knight.
And it
Where's
never
Hollow Knight at?
happens. And then on April 1st, April Fools, Microsoft finally add the Silksong page to the Windows Store / Game Pass thing where you can purchase games. So people are like, is this Microsoft taking the piss? Or is it actually like genuinely something coming up to the release or the launch of Silksong? Obviously, most people suspect it's going to be the latter because I don't think Microsoft's that fun, to be fair, to do that in April Fools. But yeah, so it's the slimmest bit of news, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning that the store page is now up on the Microsoft Store or the Windows Store. So it could actually still be this year for those who are anticipating it, because it is probably one of the more anticipated games, at least not in the AAA space for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you say you weren't a fan of Hollow Knight, Peachy?
I can appreciate it.
Mm.
Mhm.
It's just not for me. I prefer something a bit more crunchy if I'm playing a 2D game.
Right.
I really I dig that pixel art style.
It looks so good. My nephew loves this game.
It's hand drawn, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
believe so,
that's how
yeah.
they boast it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is
It look.
cool.
I mean,
but,
it looks hand drawn for sure.
but I prefer something, I don't know, just a bit more crunchy. If they put like a filter over it, I'd probably be fine.
Right,
But,
right.
I don't know.
It's too
I know,
smooth
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I think it is. That's weird, right?
It's
That
too
is
clean.
weird.
It's too clean for
But
Peachy.
it
That's
looks
all it is.
beautiful, and I can appreciate it. And I've watched people play it. I've never watched it and gone, oh, I want to play this.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Like, I think I bought it. I think on sale at one point, and I wanted to check it out because I went through. I bought like a bunch of Metroidvanias one time when I was just really wanting to scratch that itch, and I don't remember why I stopped playing it. I apparently I got an hour in, and I uninstalled it at some point.
It is
But
super
my
difficult, if I recall.
It is
My
pretty tough.
my
Yeah.
11-year-old nephew loves it. He came over one year, or and 1 year. He came over once, and it was like I think it was last year or the year before, where he was like convinced his mom to make him a Halloween costume and everything. I was like, damn, you really.
Aw.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
He loves it. So like,
Cool.
maybe I should give it another try, just because he loves it so much. But
Mm.
but I do remember being really impressed by the visuals. It looks very nice.
Yeah, I remember giving it a go and then being like, bloody hell, this is a lot harder than I expected it to be. And then I don't run away from hard games by any means. Obviously, I play Souls-likes and stuff like that, but I have to be in the mood for them. And I think it was one of those times where I was like, I am not in the mood for this. This is a bit harder than I was anticipating. And then I just didn't come back to it.
Yeah, I'm a lot like that too. Cause like I've been playing Elden Ring again, just prepping for the DLC. And yeah, like there's times like I will start playing like Dark Souls or something like that, and I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for this shit right now. And just turn it off. It's like those are the days like I get really mad when like something bad, like you die once, you're like, God.
Yeah.
So with games like that, it's like if I'm not in the mood to be frustrated, I just don't even touch it whatsoever.
Yeah, because otherwise you do get mad and you just rage quit, and then it leaves you feeling somewhat jaded. And then you're like, no, I'm not going back to it. Fuck that game. I hate it. And it's just like, no, I was just being bad at the game.
I've started recognizing like when my mood is like that, where it's like, I'm not in a good mood today. Maybe the worst thing to play right now is a Souls game or like a really hard game today that will just set me off so much that I want to punch something.
Yeah, Neo ended up doing that to me. Neo was like a really, really good game. But the bosses, out of all the Souls-likes I've played, I think Neo is the hardest. And the bosses in particular are brutal.
My husband loves Neo. He convinced me to play it one time, and one of those moods, like I played it up, I booted it up, and he was so excited. He told me to turn somewhere, and I fell off, and I was like, this game. She was just the smallest death, like just a gravity. I was like, what? I don't like this game. I don't like Neo.
Gifted Neo 2. I do want to try that.
Yeah.
I have Neo 2 as well. I think.
If
I have to double check that.
Just like loads of action, they're definitely the way to go. If you're looking for just lots of fighting, the thing with Neo though is like in any Souls, like if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get like stomped by your regular white mobs, let's say, kind of thing. Whereas Neo, every single mob feels like a boss kind of thing, and then you've got the actual bosses. I remember I was fighting a boss, and it was like my 4th attempt or whatever, and I was just about to kill it. It was literally one hit away, and then it pulled out this move that just 100 to 0'd me, and I got so angry. I was infuriated to the point where I nearly threw the controller kind of thing. I put it down.
God.
I was streaming as well. It's one of the very few moments on stream where I've actually gotten angry, because I'm quite a chill person. So like I was just like, chat, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm sorry, forgive me. Like I am so annoyed right now.
Demon Souls was the game that got me so pissed at like while I was streaming that I was like, I had to stop immediately. I got
a janky piece of shit.
It wasn't that. It was there was I forgot what area I'm in because I'm not too well versed in it, and Kevin did warn me about like there's like a player fighter or a player boss fight, like it summons in like some player and you have to fight him, and I was like, what? And I got my ass kicked so many times that I was just like, no. This game's. I think I stood up and I was like, "This game's impossible." It's just like the complete over exaggerated like dude, it's not that big of a deal. No, this game sucks and I hate it.
I assume that was the remaster, or was that the original?
It was the remaster.
I want to play the
'Cause
remaster.
it's beautiful. It's just the thing is, like, I knew going into it was hard, and that was just like what I was just not in the good mood already, and then that kept like just the constant getting like destroyed, because like I said, I was just playing Elden Ring. Like, I had 2 streams of Elden Ring during the week, and I was, I've been trying to solo it, and like I'll die multiple times and be like, just if I'm in a good mood, it's like, no, just one more time. Oh, what, first try? It's fine. It's fine. But that it was the player boss fight that got me. That I was like, you know what? I don't think Demon Souls is that good. How about that? I don't like it that much.
It's not even that good a game. Fuck From Software.
It's not that good a game.
They don't make good games. Who is this company? No one knows.
It's an indie developer called From Software. I've never heard of them, and I never will again.
Yeah, never again. Should we go into the break first, or
let's do the Saber thing.
Yeah.
A quick one.
So, as many of you may know, if you've been watching or listening to the podcast, we previously spoke about how Saber Interactive were able to free themselves from the clutches of Embracer, but it was a bit up in the air about what happened to KOTOR on Knights of the Old Republic, because that's kind of been in this limbo developer hell with like Embracer purchasing it and then whatnot, and the fire that it is. But we have had confirmation from the CEO of Embracer. The article on screen right now is by Eurogamer. And he says, yeah, it's alive and well. We're not going to give you any information on it. You're probably not going to see it for years, but it is happening for sure, which I think is going to be a relief to a lot of people, because I think KOTOR is one of those. It's not the most popular MMO in the world, but it was very beloved by those who did play it, and I think they've been
very immersed in KOTOR. Like, if you played it and enjoyed it, like, you love that game because it just took you on an adventure.
It's such a good. I love KOTOR. I preferred KOTOR 2 personally, for story wise, but KOTOR was that was my jam. It is one of those games that I really hesitate to recommend to people if they've never played it, because it's just it's so dated. It plays it's very clunky to play. And so it would be, I'm glad to see that that the remake is still alive and well. I'm not.
Okay. So a CEO will always say that.
Yes and no.
They will never go. No, it's dead. That is a big game for them. But having said that, I actually believe this from Saber, because Saber have got some IP and a lot of work on that IP that can get them investors. They've got a lot under the hood there that people will go, yes, okay, here is $1 million, whatever, $20, whatever. I don't know what investors do with their money. A CEO will just say, yeah, no, it's fine. There is no reason for them not to say it's fine, because the only thing saying it's not fine is they will lose money, and the company will shit the bed. The problem is Saber's got a lot of stuff coming that is very anticipated. I wouldn't say hype, but anticipated. So I actually believe the line that it is currently alive and well. And I'm as cynical as the next guy. But because of the power of what Saber still has after getting away from a toxic ex, if you
that's a good way of wording it.
I do believe that line that they are still working on it, and they have still got support for it, and they still have people with wallets that are willing to push through, because everything that Saber's working on will be delayed. Everything. Yeah. There are things that are a bit closer that will be focused on, but I actually do believe the CEO when he says it's alive and well, and they're still working on it.
I think I would say like
Yeah.
if it wasn't, they just wouldn't say anything at all.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I get what you mean with like CEO is going to CEO, but another CEO thing is if something isn't going to happen or it's not doing well, they just don't talk about it. It's either silence is golden or talk about it positively because it is, in most cases, actually like still being developed. I think is the main concern that people had here. So
I think CEOs will tell you anything to make you happy
True.
and
perhaps
get paid.
But what reason would they have to say that it is alive and well if it wasn't? If considering like the
So
circumstances.
the
with
rest
Saber.
of their projects that they're currently working on get funded.
Got it.
KOTOR is a big game, and everyone knows
Yeah,
it in the future.
I got it.
So just saying that that's alive and well, like I can see a world where just saying that's alive and well to keep the money rolling in so they can finish what they're working on and go on it. I can see a world where even if it's crumbling, they would say that to make sure the money keeps running through because it costs a lot of money to make these big games, right? But I actually do believe, I think Saber's I think they're solid. They've, was a big fuck up with Embracer and all that. But I think because of what they've been working on, I think they're good, and I think we will see a KOTOR, and I hope we see a KOTOR because I'd like to see a modern.
I would love to see that. Like I'm going to be, hopeful about this because like I would like to see KOTOR be remade, and hopefully that could lead, and if it's done well, it could lead to being remade, which would make and as a finished product.
All these companies are publicly traded, and like impressions of what people think is doing well and what isn't is very important in order to keep their company going. We need to be aware of that. I'm just saying.
I would like to see it because I never played the original, but it's one of the few Star Wars games that I see always spoken with reverence.
I have so many copies of it. Like I really do legitimately love that game. I played it when it came out. I still have a physical Xbox copy of both of them.
That's where I played it first.
Yeah, same. And I do have I have it on Steam. I think I have one loose copy too for PC as well. Like it's one of those every time it's available on another platform, it's like Psychonauts for me. Like I continuously pick it up. Right. I don't know why. And but like I said, it's one of those games it is very difficult for me to tell you right now hey, you should check it out because it is so dated in the gameplay and it feels dated.
Thing is, when it came out, it wasn't a fresh air of this is new. When I first played it, I didn't like it. I felt like I had no agency.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I was sitting there and I'm like, I'll put it on again. I was just in the mindset for just something. It's not a slow paced game, but mechanically, do you know what I mean? It is a lot more chilled.
Yeah.
When I played it and it after a couple of hours, after giving it that time, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, you have to give it time in order because to start unfolding things, and especially consider back then there was a big twist for the in the middle of the game where it's ooh, it was kind of and that was just when story agent or player choice was kind of start becoming a thing in RPGs, but I don't think I had played a game like that before when it came out. I mean, maybe it's something on PC
with the twist.
Choices having the different choices and being able to influence the ending. Because most of the games I had played up to that, because it came out in 2003. I just looked it up.
I guess they were quite linear, but a lot of those I assume you've played it a couple of times now. They're not the deepest changes to the game.
No, absolutely not.
So I wouldn't. I guess I would put it in the your choices matter because they never matter in any video game.
No, they don't. But back when I played it, because I because it was on the original Xbox on it. So in 2003, I don't like. I always played things like Zelda and stuff like that. And you know, anytime
Well, you've got a lot more agency in a fight in something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember to this day playing it on a Duke controller that was like this. And
The
I was like,
big,
the only
giant
thing I can
Xbox
do is
controller.
twiddle my lightsaber. I'm like, this is, and then.
Oh, dude, I was spinning my lightsaber every chance I get. It was great.
Well, I was doing that because that's the only thing I could do, and I'm like,
It
I'm
is.
bored, and I stopped playing it. And then I came back to it maybe I don't know 6 months later or something, and it just grabbed me.
Yeah.
I downloaded a mod in Beat Saber that specifically lets you twiddle your lightsaber. That's the only thing I can add to that. I just wanted to make sure, like, it's known that twiddling your lightsaber is cool.
Is cool.
That's why I've got these on my quests,
Right.
so I can do that.
Yeah, literally, you press a
Twiddling
button and you
lightsabers
just
is important.
spin your lightsaber, and you're like, cool, and then you continue smashing boxes. Sorry. So yeah, KOTOR.
Yeah, hopefully it does. I'm really hoping that they're telling the truth on that, because it would be really nice to see it remade for modern
At least
audiences.
2 years out.
Yeah, it won't be
Yeah.
for a while, and I think it's important to take into the context. Like, I appreciate what
See, this is a game that when games should be remade. It's a game like this where it's older and it doesn't play exactly.
Because you're right.
Like-
You can't. I couldn't go and say, "Oh, you should play this." As a
Yeah.
modern gamer, you should go and play this. You couldn't. No.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the thing with unfortunately with the twist and like, you know, the player choice, a lot of it isn't as revolutionary as it was when it came out. And so it's such a difficult game to offer new players. But if you want to bring in new players and revive that kind of franchise, this is the way you do. You remake the one the benchmark, you know?
But Saber, if you can concentrate on Space Marine 2. Yeah. Okay. Say what the fuck I don't care who you lie to about KOTOR, even though it's crumbling in a dumpster behind the building you work at. Just keep telling them it's fine so we can get Space Marine 2. And then you'll make enough money to make it. It'll be fine.
I think something to add, like, because obviously I appreciate what you're saying, but I think it also needs to be in the context of why he felt the need to say that. So KOTOR was originally being like under the umbrella of Aspire, who we spoke about last episode as well. So people were like, "Oh, KOTOR Remake's been cancelled," and that's why he's piped up to say, "No, it is still being developed." And I suspect the split from Embracer has probably allowed them to do that. I suspect, if anything, they were being held back by Embracer originally, because I imagine it's an MMO. MMOs are fucking expensive, hella expensive. It's probably something that Embracer were like, yeah, no, we bought 20,000 different IPs. Like, THQ Nordic bought a bunch, who Embracer unfortunately now own as well. So it was probably a case of, that one can go on the back burner, whereas now Saber are free of those clutches. They can go, oh, no, we do actually want to develop this. But yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to be expensive to do. And the statement was more to just put it to bed, because there was this limbo of all the gamers and stuff like, is this going to happen? Is it dead? Has it been shot behind the barn, or do we actually still anticipate? And yeah, by all means, it's to get investors, but I don't think they would straight up lie about it, because lying to investors is also illegal. So like, you can twist your words. They may develop it and it be a shit remake, for example, but the thing to take away from this is that they are remaking it still, and that's a bit of hope for the people that, as we've mentioned, hold it in high regard.
Between doing PR and lying to your investors.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Again, I actually believe the CEO when they say that. I'm just saying we need to be aware that CEO they pull shit like this all the time.
I'll be cautiously optimistic about this.
Yeah, I am optimistic, yeah, for sure. But it's a long way out, and I want Space Marine 2 first.
Yeah, no,
which is September 9th?
Sorry, say again?
It's September 9th, Space Marine 2 is out.
I believe so, yeah. Because you were
that was the first date they've given.
Yeah, you were very upset when it was originally delayed. Hopefully they can optimize it, so we'll have to see. But I believe it's still slated for this year, at the very least.
Yeah.
Shall we jump to break?
Yes.
That would be wonderful.
Right. So, folks, we will be leaving the mics on so we can have a bit of chinwag whilst we get drinks and whatnot. We will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Otherwise, see you in part 2.
Bye.
Bye.
Music. Where is the music?
I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Same. There's the music. It's so warm in here, Peachy. Can I steal your aircon, please? Thanks. Bye. Hey everyone, just wanted to interrupt this podcast briefly to say a big thank you, huge thank you to those of you who watch us live on Twitch, those of you who watch on YouTube and are subscribed and like the videos, those of you who write reviews on Spotify and things like that. Actually, huge. Love it when people give us like 5-star reviews and things like that. So thank you again to all of you. Also, just wanted to let you know, we do, of course, have a Patreon, patreon.com/fully rendered. On the Patreon, you get to ask us Q&A questions that we will feature in the podcast. You get to help us decide on topics. You get access to specials. Currently, there's a special with Peachy and Pulp to talk about Warhammer lore, for example, things like that. So if that sounds cool to you, do please check it out. Patreon.com/fully rendered. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of the Fully Rendered podcast. We have a Patreon question that was submitted. It was submitted by Ryan again, I believe, Mr. Colby. And he has asked, what is your favorite, memorable, funny, inspiring, or weird quote from a game you've played? One of mine is Instructor Razuvious from World of Warcraft's Naxxramus raid. Sweep the leg. Do you have a problem with that? Which is a Karate Kid reference. He also says, you disappoint me, students. Pope, do you have
Oh my
such
God.
a quote?
You're going to have to give me a second to think of one.
Peachy, do you have such a quote? I have loads, honestly.
I don't play games for this story. I don't watch porn for the story either. It's nice that it's there, but it's
I'm
not
here
important.
to fix the fridge. See, I've got, even for porn, I've got one. There must be like a funny quote though that you've, or like something that was said in a game that's just stuck with you. Like I could reel off loads. Mostly because they're comical.
Like just a quote, maybe
Yeah.
a scene, but like just a quote. What you got, Brian? Go on. I'll have a think.
Yeah, I want to hear yours.
Yeah, so there's probably a few, like some of the smaller ones would be like Warcraft 3, when you would double click or continuously click on the NPCs, they would go through like random character lines. So like you click on a PR and they'd be like, something you're doing, and then they would eventually start doing like weirder, funnier ones. Like the dwarf rifleman, they would go, this is my boomstick kind of thing. And that, I think, was also a reference to another movie or something like that. There's the Portal 2. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. The owner.
I just
and
saw
like,
one.
The lemons, like burn down, go talk to Life's manager and give back the lemons, and then burn his house down with the lemons and stuff like that. Like that one, I will always remember that quote probably. Or again from there's probably a few from Portal 2, frankly. Even just the space at the end, like I'm in space and stuff like that. I could just reel them off. Love them. I actually made a this was just before like Twitch got caught on fire with the DMCA apocalypse. But I actually made like a pre-stream mix. So I made a load of songs with game quotes in it, including like this is my boomstick and stuff like that. It even has the gladiator quote where it's like my name is Marcus Aurelius and I've brushed my hand to get across some oats and stuff like that. And like there's loads of like just quotes and cool like sounds. It's a good quote. But yeah, like there's so many, and that's on my YouTube if anyone wants to give it a gander. It's like 60 minutes of music that I just mixed together with quotes and stuff. But
that's awesome.
Did you say you thought of one, Peachy?
Yes.
I thought of one too.
Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation. It's about this. Hang on, I want to get the quote right.
I had to look mine up to remind myself of what it was. I remembered the part from like.
It's easy to forget what a sin is in the middle of a battlefield. That was fucking. I mean, that whole game kind of blew me away. But like, yeah, that's definitely one. And also, you mentioned Portal, Half-Life, the fucking G-Man, the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference. That's pretty cool.
Right. Paul?
So I guess mine would be a goofy one. So one of my favorite games I actually want to get a tattoo for is it. Can we not? Is from Psychonauts. No, my neighbor just like slammed the door and I heard the dog go like, "Arr!" And I'm a big fan of Psychonauts. There's a whole like where's the whole level design around the milkman who's a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
And like so you go in like throughout the whole thing there's just so many funny lines throughout it, and at one point you have to go find him and he stands up and the only line, his first line is, "I am the milkman, my milk is delicious," and he just starts throwing flaming Molotovs throughout the game, and it's so good. But there's so many like little goofy lines in that game that I mean I can't pick one. I'm not really good at quote. I'm not a quote person.
Right. That's fair.
I found the full quote, Brian. I've been looking for it. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought he could give Cave Johnson lemons.
Cave Johnson, that was
You know who I am?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, I was just remembering. It was Cave Johnson. That was the name I couldn't remember.
Here's another one from that. My milk is delicious.
Who's going to burn your house down with the lemons. I'm going to get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
Yeah, that was the quote. And ironically, life didn't give us lemons. We gave life to lemons. Lemons is a man-made fruit.
Every food you eat is literally GMO made by man.
Yeah. I think orange is technically, well, you had the bitter orange, which I think was the original orange. And that's how lemons came about. But I mean, like, specifically, like, the lemon is made of a citron and a bitter orange, and it was bred to make a new fruit. So life didn't give us lemons. We gave life to lemons. We made the lemons. We brought it on ourselves.
We made the lemons.
And now we need to burn houses with them. But sorry, you were going to say another quote there?
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, there's a few, like, I had to go look some of them up because I'm like, I was like, there were other ones. And it's like, yeah, my milk is delicious. It's fortified with what the world wants and what the world deserves. It's just like goofy little lines. And it's a conspiracy theorist.
Wasn't there, I never played the game, but I remember hearing a lot about it. I think it was about a squirrel or something. And
no, it's...
not in Psychonauts. I mean, there's another game, Conkers or something like that, and there's a literal boss in it.
Bad Fur Day?
Maybe there was like some small rodent animal is the hero, and one of the scenes in it is he's talking to a giant turd, and this was like a children's game.
The Great Mighty, from I Am the Great Mighty Pooh.
Maybe, yeah, and I just remember that, and it was like I think they might also be remaking it. Potentially, I swear that was the thing.
Am I making Conker's Bad Fur Day
for a second time
in '64? I think.
No, they did it it was on the 360. They remade it.
They had okay, all right. Well, these are the games we need to remake. Do you know what? I'll take it over another Life is not Life.
It was on N64. Then Xbox. Then Rare was when they were. Was Rare bought by Xbox? They remade it for the Xbox 360 and really focused in on making it like a Call of Duty-esque like multiplayer system. It was interesting, but they censored it more than the N64 one. Ironically, the Xbox version is more censored than the N64 version.
Is it allowed to be a quote if it's silence from the protagonist that speaks louder than words?
I mean, no.
And
I can appreciate the love of the scene, but I don't think it counts as a quote if we're strictly speaking. There's also another one that's just come to mind.
What if he pumps his shotgun after doing it?
I think that's still more of a scene, to be fair. But
look, words are just noises we make, right?
No.
Yes.
Not quite.
noises that convey emotions and feelings and thoughts.
And definitive
When you ask someone's
things.
name, you're just asking them what noise you need to make to get their attention.
Yeah, but that's a name. Just a name. Not a language as a whole, which is what we do when we're referring to quotes.
I don't know. I think it counts, but you'll never know.
We will never know. All we know is that a shotgun's
I said
involved.
it comes to shotgun afterwards. It's clearly Doom.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But another one that's popped to mind that I'm sure everyone will recognize, even if you haven't played the game, and that's stay a while and listen, because
Stay a while.
Yeah.
Listen.
yeah, Deckard came.
Didn't he die in number 3?
Yeah, in the most lamest way as well. I mean, like, I don't think people had issue with him being killed off. It was just how he was killed off. There was so much about Diablo 3's story that was so poorly written. Like, the bosses throughout every act would be like, oh, you're going to be defeated, and I'm going to send my lieutenants and generals to this very specific location, and you will not do anything to stop me except appear at that location and do exactly that. But that's fine, because I will now go to this location. And it's just like, please stop talking. Like, I think in Act 4 or Act 5, like, Diablo is like, oh, terror, you will suffer terror. And then like 5 minutes later, he'll say something very similar. Even though you're not actually anywhere near him, you're on your way to him, going through this like angel fortress that he's taken over, and he just randomly speaks to you going, more terror, and it's like, shut the fuck up, Diablo. Like, we'll talk when I get there. But yeah, the writing in Diablo 3 was horrific. I was not a fan of it at all. But thank you to Mr. Colby, Ryan, for your question. If anyone wishes to submit questions for the podcast, we have a Patreon. It is patreon.com/fully rendered. You will have access to all of the episodes, and there'll be edit free, ad free, all that shenanigans. And you will also have access to special episodes. Hope and Peachy are currently working on a Warhammer lore episode called Getting Hammered, I believe. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
He's acquiring something.
We have a logo.
We have a logo. Nice. I like it. I like it.
Yes!
So yes, we've got special episodes that we will do specifically for the Patreon. You'll get like a highlight reel on YouTube, so you can see like some of the what it is that you could be missing.
I have prepared a chart.
Excellent.
Okay?
I like it. I like it.
I'm excited.
But of course, as mentioned, you will also be able to submit questions to us, and it doesn't have to be gaming related. You can literally be like, what's the podcast's favorite flavored milkshake, or something to that effect. You can literally ask us anything you want. It's not guaranteed that we'll pick it
right now. It's Chocomel.
Chocomel. Do you know what? I actually like, Crusher, the brand that makes like cordial milkshake rather than just like straight milkshake. So you just pour it into the milk and it flavors the milk for you. But yeah, they did a lime flavor, and it is actually really nice. I remember when I heard of it, I was
lime milk.
Yeah, and I was just like, what? That sounds really weird, but it was the most refreshing drink I've had in my life. And every time I see it available, because it's one of those flavors that's very rarely in the stores. When it is, I always grab it. It's so nice. So nice. Highly recommend.
Lime milk.
It sounds weird.
Know, Brian.
It's hella refreshing. Trust the pirate.
What the hell?
Okay.
I just had to Google what cordial is, and is it a liquor? It's a liqueur?
No, cordial is like
milk?
squash that you put in. Like
I don't know what squash is.
This
it's like
cordial.
Concentrate.
Oh, okay, concentrate. Okay. I looked it up, and here's what Google gave me. Another term for a liqueur, and I'm like, you put liqueur in milk. And the other one was a comforting or pleasant tasting medicine. So,
yeah, no.
I was so confused.
That's definitely not what I meant.
Brian's life medicine.
Medicine.
Yeah. Lime flavored milk, but no, cordial is just what you mix with.
Cordial is British Sunny tea.
Not quite, but like I said, it's
Sunny tea you drink straight from the bottle, right? You don't have to put water.
Yeah,
in it.
Sunny.
It's just.
I'm more of a Tampico girl.
I have no idea what that is.
That's the Mexican version. It's a cheaper Mexican version of Sunny D. It's
And probably has
laden
real
with sugar.
because the
It's,
sugar
it's
is banned
laden
in
with sugar. It is delicious, but
Mm.
it is terrible for you. And it costs like $2 for like a huge
probably
jug.
better than corn syrup.
It's basically corn. So what is in? Hold on.
If it's from Mexico, they use sugar.
It
That's why
tastes the
they
same.
import
It
Coke
tastes
from
exactly
Mexico,
the same.
not America, or root beer.
I know. Apparently, it's from Illinois, but I guess like
Oh.
most
You've been
American,
debated by marketing.
water, high fructose corn syrup, and less than 2% of orange juice from concentrate. It's just
Less
terrible
than
for-
2%.
Damn.
It's not juice.
It is not.
It tastes the same if you
0%
close
is
your
less
eyes.
than
but
2% also.
it's the fact that it's shelf stable says all you need to know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so
Thank you for the question. We appreciate it.
yeah, thank you for the
Thank
question.
you.
If anyone
I
wants to
appreciate
submit any, do check out the Patreon. There are various tiers, including the I can't remember what we called it. We just called it the whale tier. The whale tier of
whale
69 or whatever, something stupid like that.
If
The
whale
meme
tail
I
tier.
ever get someone that does that, I will not be on that episode of the podcast.
I'll get a guest and I'll get them to dress up
There
like
will be
you.
a
And we'll-
guest.
Let's just put a
buy-
whale
the
tail.
Patreon
Musk
paid for this
will
guest.
be on the show. Okay.
No, just put for Peachy. Just put the cow and gimp suit.
Yes, the cow in the gimp suit.
How would people tell the difference?
They'll never know.
I'll never know.
The next subject is one that I'm quite looking forward to talking to. I'm going to let Peachy take the lead on it, but before I do, I am going to take quite a lot of pleasure from this if it's successful, because it fists Ubisoft in a very particular way, which I think is a very much needed fisting, for lack of a better phrase. But the next subject is STOPKILLINGGAMES.com. Do you want to take it away?
Okay, first of all, Stop Killing Games is a movement to try and get legal action on large publishers not allowing you to own or play your games after they've decided it's not worthy to play. A thing I need to point out that after what Brian just said, even though this is hinged and the Kickstarter is from Ubisoft shutting down the crew, this is not about Ubisoft. It is just, this is the juiciest pear on the tree to start from kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
So
of France,
there is-
for a bit more explanation there.
Yes. So this is started and it's been going on a long time. And it's something I quite believe in. Ross from Ross's Game Dungeon and Freeman's Mind, who is Accursed Farms, dislikes the fact that you can spend, however, it doesn't matter how much you spend, but you can buy a video game. It doesn't matter if it's multiplayer or single player. But then after a certain point, a company can just take that from you.
Yeah.
Like you paid for a thing. You paid for a thing. You're not renting a game. You're buying a game. Rentals have a lifetime, right? You rent a car for a week. You used to go to Blockbuster and you'd rent a video and it would say, bring this back within 14 days.
Yeah.
And then that's what you're paying for, right? Video games are just put out there. You pay top dollar, usually, because a lot of these are AAA live service games. You pay your £60, and then after it's no longer profitable to them, they take that game away for you. That game is unplayable without that company doing anything. And what this movement is about, it isn't about stopping those types of games. It is about bringing some sort of repercussion to companies that allow their product to die and you can't play it. We know from history that so many older games that we all love, you can't buy anymore. You just can't get hold of them unless you go to eBay and buy a secondhand thing. The thing is, if you do get a second one, you can put that into your Super Nintendo and you can play that game. That game still exists. They didn't kill it. They didn't kill the game. They just don't sell it anymore, which is different. So basically, stopkillinggames.com. If you go there, you can click on an image of the country you're in, and it will take you to a page that'll give you a list of things in ascending order of how important they are, of things you can do to help. The reason that Ubisoft has been picked on, for want of a better word, is they are closing down The Crew. I don't think it's that great a game. I think it's a bit of a flawed game, but it is a game that a lot of people, millions of people have played that game and owned that game. And in France, there are quite strict laws on the purchasing laws and consumer laws, and live services are working in a gray area. This is why things like subscriptions are coming around, because they can see the writing on the wall. They basically want a few things. A game that's playable. Doesn't matter how much you paid for it. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If it's a if you argue that video games are art, that's fine. But video games contain art, as Ross said, and art dying is always a bad thing. They want things like the ability to play your game on your platform of choice after they have stopped support for their game. They've also, there is leeway for that, like, because MMOs, right, they don't work without a central server, like kind of by their very nature, right? They are asking for it to be left in a state where it can still be experienced to a degree. It doesn't have to be fully playable, but experienced to a degree. Or for server-based games, that code to be given out as not open source, but allowed to be used by other people who can make their own servers. So we stop killing games. And I think he's right. He's been going on about this a lot. And I think he's, you know, my feeling on live service games, which is all about squeezing as much money out of it as possible until they're done with it, and then they kick it to the curb. How much does it really take for them to have an end game for their game when it's finished its life? Is it that much? If it's a single player game that requires DRM, online stuff, is it too much to go off? I don't think it is. It is a lot for a multiplayer game, but you go into that, right, thinking, okay, this is how a server runs to run the games. It doesn't have to be at the level that your own servers are at. It just needs to make this game available, something a product you paid for that suddenly is obsolete.
So it's funny you say that, because with PoE 2 coming out, some of the player base are concerned that it's going to lead to the death of PoE 1. And the like director of PoE 1 was like, listen, first of all, we want to have both the games running concurrently because they're different playstyles and whatnot. If for some reason PoE 2 was so insanely popular that it did take everyone away from PoE 1, we're still not going to shut down PoE 1 because it doesn't take a lot to run the servers. We could just leave the servers on. And I thought that was very, very telling, because it's usually an excuse you hear a lot. It's like, oh, well, the servers are expensive. And he's like, nah, it's nothing. Like, we could easily leave the servers on. Diablo 2 was still playable for like 2 decades after it was released. Before the remaster came out, I think you still technically can play the original if you didn't buy the remaster.
I can run a Half-Life Deathmatch on a server on my own PC and invite people in. Like that game is not dead; it's playable. Yeah, you know, it's dead as in no one's playing it anymore. But they haven't taken a product away that I, in good faith, have paid for. And I think it's a really good movement, and the way he's done this website is really good, because I'm inherently lazy. I think humans in general can be inherently lazy. You just go to STOPKILLINGGAMES.com, click on your flag, and it gives you a breakdown with links, and he's made it as easy as possible, because now is the time to do it. Because it's Ubisoft, because they're closing down The Crew, and because France has some of the tightest consumer laws in the world. Give it a click. Some of these things are just sign a petition. The UK one at the moment, it's 20. It needs to go to become a proper petition, and then we can sign it properly.
And then it gets addressed by the local government.
Yes, it will have to be seen by local. I don't know what the rules are in countries. This has probably driven him around the twist trying to figure out, because everyone has different laws. But currently, with your live service, end of service games, it is a gray area they are moving around in. And when they decide to stop supporting that game, you can't play it anymore. Even if it is The Crew, which I didn't think was very good. A lot of people like that. A lot of people get more out of it than the game, just driving around a scale replica of the US. Video games are art, and we are allowing these people to destroy art. And the longer it goes on, the more they will just do that. And then that will just be the status quo, and it'll never be changed. Now is the time to go to StopKillingGames.com and just click on a few things, because they're taking away. You paid 60 quid for a game.
Yeah.
You can't play it now. I can't play Lawbreakers anymore. One of my favorite modern shooters. I say modern, it's quite old now.
Yeah. I would have
Because they
liked to have
stopped
seen
enjoying it.
Lawbreakers do well. I have a Lawbreakers hat.
Yeah, I really like Lawbreakers, but it's
It
not
was genuinely
about
good.
it's not about The Crew. It's not about Ubisoft.
Yep.
It's about the industry not giving you what you paid for.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
It's interesting
and
because
it's very easy.
I think it was Blizzard who, at least my first memory of this occurring was Blizzard, where they changed their terms of service specifically to say, this is a license to play our game. You don't actually own the game, blah, blah, blah. And that was like 15, 20 years ago or whatever, probably 15.
That's a good point, actually, because end license users, end license agreements, they are pushing for this to be exempt from anything you agree to, because it's about the product you buy rather than the license of you using it.
Well, one of the arguments I remember being made, and because it's weird because that happened and there was a bit of like dust kicked up about it, but then it kind of died off and people just kind of rolled with it. But from what I recall, technically it's not legally binding anyway. You agree to these things and it's a non-legally binding, but it's a verbal agreement that you have made. But if you think it's bullshit, you can take it to court and it's still the court who would decide it. The court wouldn't be like, well, you agreed to it, so sucks to be you. They'd be like, yeah, no, this is bullshit. This isn't legalese. This is just some horrible thing that shouldn't exist, for example. Or they may side with the publishers or whatever, the license writers. But
Right.
I think it's ultimately going to be something that is going to have to get taken to a court or like a class action or something like that. And when that does hopefully happen, or through these petitions get a bit more eyeballs on it, it would be nice to just see publishers get a bit of a kick to the bollocks, you know what I mean? Just say, stop actually being anti-consumer, stop nickel and diming people, stop taking the piss, frankly, and actually, like, and it's so weird because surely it's very, very obvious by now that if you treat your customers well, they have a habit of coming back, you know? Like,
Yeah.
why is this practice of not providing a good product and a good service not something that's enforced by publishers anymore? It's always this, oh, we can get away with it if we do it like this. Oh, it's good enough and then we'll fix it later. Or, well, we'll nickel and dime you because servers are expensive despite other companies telling you that other servers are not, in fact, expensive.
They're not asking for servers to be kept running, just if it has to be server based. And a lot of games don't have to be servers based. A lot of them are just DRM or anti-cheat stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just to give us the ability to play what we paid for. Like, I love a bunch of games I played in my youth, and I can't buy those anymore.
Yeah.
But I can still play them.
Yeah.
And what happens now for the generation that these current modern games are the ones that, like, inform them, right? They can't play them anymore. This also does take into account free-to-play games, because you spend money in those games. Your horse armor, you bought that horse armor, no matter how stupid it might have been, but you bought that horse armor and you deserve to own that horse armor, even if it's in a limited capacity.
This is just a step in the right direction for ethical games or ethical game development.
It's getting rid of the gray area where these giant companies can just not let you will own nothing and you will be happy. And that is bullshit.
100%.
It's an anti-consumer thing. And yeah, I'm sure Brian will have put this in the description below the video.
I will, yes.
But it's stopkillinggames.com. Just go check it out.
Do you have anything to add, Paul?
No, I mean, you guys covered everything.
Sorry, I'm like, about this.
No, this is something we all like unanimously agree on. So, you know, There's
fair.
nothing really I can add.
So, Pope, you've been playing Helldivers quite a bit of
I
it.
have. I like it.
You like
However, it is absolutely a buggy mess still. But it's been I've been having a lot of fun streaming it. I've been doing with like community nights for democracy. I know that they have a new battle pass coming out. I think that's what it's called.
Sure.
That's supposed to be coming. I don't know. It's for all the armor. It's supposed to be coming out within the next week or so. Hold on, let me pull it up. I was not prepared whatsoever to be talking about Helldivers.
No, don't worry.
War bond. Thank you. It's a war bond. And you know what?
War bonds.
I like it when you're not accidentally. Yeah. Okay. I get killed a lot. Yeah, that's true too. I get killed a lot in the game.
I think
But it
everyone
has-
does, to be fair. It's like, it's not an easy game, is it? Like, it's quite a brutal
To end
game.
my in defense of other people, I have a notorious habit of getting in the line of fire.
Right,
I
yeah,
don't
because
realize
friendly
it.
fire is a big thing in the game, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I
In
would
fact,
play
didn't you just
without it.
shoot another teammate, like, deliberately just now on screen? I'm showing the VOD, and I'm pretty sure you just shot someone.
That's my husband. I can
yeah.
shoot my husband.
That's fair, that's fair. That comes in
Fucking
there.
Americans, I swear
I know,
down.
right?
I was trying to prove a point with him. I was telling him about how you can heal each other, and he was like, "How do you do that?" And I was like, "I'll show you." And I shot him in the leg, and I
Right.
healed him up.
And now you're just beating him up. Wow. Kevin, blink if you need help. just send me a DM, dude. I won't tell her. Just we're good. We're good. But sorry.
Trying to turn him again. No, I
continue.
mean, so it's absolutely a lot of fun. The only like right now, I would argue that there's still, because it's an indie game, they are still trying to like figure out like a lot of the kinks. So
Right.
I think it was wasn't the last time I streamed it. It was like a couple, like maybe a few days ago. I was struggling just to even stay in the game. I like was constantly getting dropped, and like I think when we were playing last night, we had somebody like someone drop like right before we evac'd.
Right.
So like there are a lot of issues with it. However, when I was up north,
Mhm.
my Kevin and I were just playing it just up there, and that was when I first got an opportunity to check it out. And I like it's just a really fun game to go in and play with your friends right now.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with it.
And we've mentioned it before. It's probably a case of they've had so much success and so much like eyes on them.
I can't give them shit for it.
Yeah.
Because like I mean the first game, I bought the first game, like I don't even remember why I did. I think it was on sale. Like it was one of those games where I was like, oh, this looks kind of neat. I'm gonna check this out. And it was on sale, and I mean it's reviewed like 20,000 reviews on Steam, very positive.
No, yeah.
I don't remember like it really sticking out to me like that crazy, but when it came to Helldivers 2, it's like completely next level with like how much like the jump from the first, because the first game was isometric.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different game.
It was isometric. It had, I think at the time of Helldivers 2, a concurrent peak of 10,000 players. So they went from having 10,000 players, which was a lot for that game.
Yeah, for sure.
450 being their server cap. So
just comparing the store pages right now, all reviews across the board for Helldivers 1 was like just below 21,000. Just like a hair below. Helldivers 2 is at 284,000. Like I just wanted to see some sort of like visual of that.
Yeah.
And it's entirely like there's no way they prepared for that.
Yeah, there's no way you can. They couldn't have anticipated it. Even if they were very confident in the product, they wouldn't have gone, okay, well, we had 10,000 players with our first game, so we're probably going to get maybe 100,000, not
another thing,
nearly a million over time kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh no, and like they're coming out with a new war bond, and what's also like what I've noticed too is I haven't spent any money on it. They have the super currency and game currency. They give it to you throughout the game. Like you could just unlock it. So like in my chat, the fact that I have enough super credits saved up to buy the newest pass coming out for the second time,
Right.
which costs about 1,000. Like there, even though you can obviously pay cash money for it, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like I play it enough. Like I'm enjoying myself so much. Like I'm usually not like crazy about live service games in general. Like it's I kind of need some sort of goal to strive for, and like usually that's where like story elements come into play.
Yeah.
But because I'm playing with my friends, like it's just been so much fun that I just keep going back into it, and because of that, I think in-game currency, like each war bond, the paid ones cost 1,000 of the super credits. I haven't spent any of mine, and I have like 1084 saved up. I'm only level 25.
Right.
So it's like it's pretty generous for, and considering it's how much is the game? $40. I'd say it's worth it.
Are there any like favorite moves or whatever? Because I haven't played it, so I don't recall. But when you have to put the console commands and you call down a bomb or whatever.
My laser.
Your laser.
My orbital laser. Like you
Right.
just call that thing down, it comes down and just demolishes everything.
Right.
I'm also like the Sunny D cannon, thank you. That's basically it. You'll see like all of us will have one, and you just see like crossing streams, like completely just destroying everything. It's wonderful.
Nice.
It's so goated. And then I'm more like, sorry, I just like lost my train of thought.
Okay.
I prefer like using the shotgun and sniper rifle, so I'm not really I'm probably not using the best loadout, but I know like Kevin, because I play with Kevin like primarily, and then whoever else joins on us, but he like loves the quasar cannon, which could take out drop ships like in one shot. Like it's pretty great.
That's cool. When you say sniper rifle, is that like the railgun, or is that not a sniper rifle? Or because I've heard that mentioned a lot.
It's the anti-material rifle. So because we've been playing against, because there are the major orders, and you do have like your daily. I don't know if they're dailies, but you do have your opportunities to get more medals. And right now, the major orders, like they'll tell you what planets to liberate, and it's all automatron. So using the anti-material rifle, I can just like headshot a lot of them and just take like it. I can't take out big crowds, but I could start isolating a lot, and it's been pretty decent. It's pretty decent for me.
Right. Isn't it significantly harder to fight the robots than the bugs as well? Because I've watched a few streams.
I'm having an easier time right now.
Really?
I'm having an easier time right now. Like the bugs, I don't have a loadout that says I'm sure I could figure it out, but like right now my loadout is more useful against the automatrons.
Right.
Except the tanks. I can't fucking take out a tank.
Right.
But I do like the bots a lot better.
Because I've seen a few streams. Obviously, I was in your stream the other day, and it's just like, obviously the bugs. It's you kind of just get hoarded at, but you can kind of kite them because they're all melee. There's a couple of flyers and stuff like that.
The only problem with the bots is they shoot back.
Yeah, whereas I've seen people fighting against the bots, and it's just like hellfire. There's just lasers everywhere, and you're like, holy shit, and you're trying to run away, and they're just shooting you in the ass, and it's just like, oh my god, what's going on? It looks insane. It looks like a battlefield. Like I'm watching that on screen now, and it looks insane. Just having like the tracer rounds going over your head and stuff.
Yeah, and then you just call everything in remotely, and you could actually look up. It's hard to look up because there's so much going on, but you can look up in the sky. Yeah, and you can see all of every player on the battlefield.
You dead on the floor?
She is now.
I die a lot. No, I'm prone on the floor.
Yeah.
I was prone on the floor. You
jinxed the VOD.
There I died.
Yeah.
There I died. But what's kind of cool is there's a lot of like a little attentions to detail was when you're on the planet and you call in like the orbital laser, you can look up and you could see there's 4 different however many people are in the game, but usually it's better to go in with a full squad. This game's hard if you play by yourself, so it works better for like a whole group. You'll see everyone's spaceship. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. And you'll see the orbital laser come down from each ship.
That's cool.
You'll see them in the sky. You can name your ship. Mine's the Fist of Patriotism.
Just
Stuff.
Ding.
Yeah. It's just a lot of fun.
That's cool. Have you played it, Peachy? I feel like
No.
this is a game that you would really vibe with.
The
I
whole
think Peachy would
theming
like.
is very very my thing.
Yeah.
But
Very
The
Starship
theming is
Troopers, isn't
very
it?
violently American. Feel
I,
it
I,
just
I
comes.
just don't want to pay to play a live service game.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, if I had a bunch of people who are like, "Oh, let's play it now," then yeah. But I mean, at the moment I'm
Yeah,
playing the finals,
honest.
and
Oh yeah, has
what's that game? Content warning that was free the other day.
Yeah, I mentioned
just,
that to Pope yesterday because we were talking about like
Yeah.
the boats we've missed. Like I didn't play Among Us, I didn't play Phasmo, and likewise she didn't play Among Us. And then I was like, oh, the new hotness is content warning, which is like Phasmo meets Lethal Company, and I've seen a couple of people play it. It's very buggy at the moment though, like pretty much.
I don't think it's going to change. I don't think this is a game they'll work on, but it was free and it was a blast. And the mechanic, for want of a better word, of the recording is a great laugh. Like you do your thing, you get the video back and you watch it back and you just piss yourself. It's
that's
fun.
Yeah,
It is fun, but I don't think they'll be working on this game considering who the developers are.
Who are the developers?
I've forgotten the name of them. But it's like a game jam. Do you know what I mean?
Right, Games Mill, is it by any chance?
Oh God, no.
So it's published by Landfall Publishing, who
Right.
kind of do memey things like that, and it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different developers. It's a game jam thing, and it's a good concept. I don't think this will be working on. I don't think the idea is dead, and they wouldn't work on that again. But I think this game is like, here you go. It's a laugh. It's free. I don't know if it's still free.
Yeah, one thing I would say is it's incredibly buggy. Like the sound, the audio, which for those who've played like Phasmo and Lethal Company, is really important. Every time there was like, it's quite common that for the audio to just break whenever you load in like a new round. If you all die or if you go to sleep, you have to reload the game constantly to get it working, which is something that puts me off because I wouldn't want to have to do that. Because obviously, especially as a creator, you're going to be playing this with fellow creators. And it's going to be really annoying having to reload the game each time a new round comes in or every time someone dies just to get the audio functioning properly again. But it does look like it's hilarious. But it also kind of looks like it's
It says it's
piggybacking.
$8 on Steam now.
Yeah, it
was
cheap.
free for the first 24 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't hear about it until like, I guess 2 days later or something like that.
Yeah, I only discovered it yesterday or the day before. Time is a blur for me at the moment, but yeah, like
there is £6 worth of fun in the game, but just for the concept of what it is, I'm pretty sure it's a game jam. Landfall do publish stuff like this. I wouldn't. I don't. If this gets updated, I would be happy. There might be some fixes and stuff, but I don't think it'll be pushed forward. You know, I don't think the concept of this will be grown anymore. But it is.
a flash in the pan.
A lot of fun, yes.
Yeah.
And I could see a good game coming out of this.
For sure.
This is a game jam. You're buying a game jam, and you will get the amount of fun you would get out of a game jam game.
That's fine. Did you want to talk about Skylines?
Say game jam again.
Game jam. Game marmalade.
Ooh.
A raspberry conserve game.
Did you want to talk about City Skylines?
Do you know what?
Did you put it in the agenda? But I didn't know why.
I've got a lot to say, but the long and short of it is mods are now available.
Oh, okay.
And I've been playing it since Thursday, which is already longer than release. I think I did 2 days, and I was like, does
it run better now?
It does. It does. It runs a lot better. It really does. It grabbed me like City Skylines, the original one, did. If it released in its current state, I don't think it would have been absolutely shit on. I think this was a kick in the ass for the publisher, which Paradox, and I don't see them doing this again. It's not finished the game is not a finished game. But if it released like this, I don't think we would have seen anything like what we did before. Mods are out. Not all your favorites are there. Traffic Manager is not there yet. It's still coming soon, but we have Move It. We've got Find It. We've got Anarchy. We've got the things, almost all the things you need to just play the base game. When Traffic Manager is in there, I think I will be absolutely fine with where it is. The Mod Manager is inbuilt into the game, which is in beta. So, you know, that's not even the Mod Manager isn't finished yet. But I have just been thinking about, I started stream going, can I play the game yet? Because I like to chat shit before I start the game. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm going to play this offline. I'm ready to dive back into City Skylines 2. If you were too burnt by the original launch, like I get it. Don't reward them for doing that. But if you bought it and you were upset that it wasn't what you wanted, it is here now. It runs better. The teeth are still in the game. I've got a mod which I can take the camera anywhere, and the teeth are still inside the heads of the Sims, but it runs so much better. But turn off anti-aliasing because for some reason it breaks the game.
Right. Okay.
It is not finished. The game is not finished. If you want a completed, finished game, nope. But is it playable? Yes. Yeah. Can you have fun? I think so. There are mods. It's not been on many people's radar because of how burned everyone was from it.
Yeah, and it is a shame. Like, I think there's a number of things that I could comment on when it comes to Skylines. Like, for example, you just listed a bunch of mods that were in the first game, correct?
Well, there were mods from the first game. They weren't in the base game.
Yeah.
But we'd been playing that game for so long, those mods were, well, I'll install these, and then I'll look at whatever mods I want for this playthrough.
Yeah. So, would you say that those mods are mandatory?
From the last game, I would say they were mandatory. For this one, I would argue if they were mandatory or not.
Right.
For this one, what we're used to, because of mods, not from the original game, from these mods, I would say yes, Move It, Anarchy, quite important. I think the main thing is that it runs so much better.
Yeah.
It does make my PC, if I want to run it at full 60, I actually limit it to 30 because it's a city builder. I don't need 60. If I run this at 60 on my Quad HD, my PC is as loud as SpaceX. Like, really going. It's going like mental.
I suppose the point I'm trying to make with the modding thing is, like, if I was a developer, which one day I hope to be able to invest and make my own game, if I had a prequel that the community made a bunch of mods for, and those mods were deemed mandatory to make the game feel its best, I would do what I can to make those native features in my second game, rather than relying on the community to make them again for me. So, and maybe it's too strong a word to say relying, but the fact, like, there's providing mod support, and then there's ignoring the fact that those mods existed with your previous game and not bringing them in. Like, you see it a lot with games nowadays where you see a really popular mod with the first game, and then the developers go, well, that's a feature that people want, so give them that feature, and then they put it in the next game. You know what I mean? So I'm in two minds about Skylines 2. So go on.
So, like, a lot of stuff that is in City Skylines 2 wasn't in Skylines 1. Yeah. Like, a lot of that stuff is in there. No, the thing is, I play a lot of moddy games. Like, they're making a base game. Do you need to be able to adjust by a millimeter the road position so it looks perfect? No. Do you need Anarchy so you can overlap a road with a building or the edge of a building? No, but where I derive the fun from Skylines, I think those things are mandatory because of how I like the game. I don't think the developer needed to put those things in the game. I think that some of the things that they put in, like they have roundabouts, like a very simple function that everyone wanted in the first one and modded. There's thousands of mods to add roundabouts in the first game,
Hmm.
and they put those in. The way roads are built, I think having a game that is good that has mod support, it's like a base, right?
Right.
It's a base game that does its thing, and then mods tweak some of those mechanics. I don't think that all of those things should be put in the game. I just don't think all of those things should be put in the game at all. I think that is a modded area, because there are games that are designed to accept mods, and they take on their own life after as modded games, like Factorio, Project Zomboid, Minecraft. I can't play base vanilla Minecraft, but I mod it to a degree that I'm happy with. It's not how I have to play it.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah, like I want City Skylines to be successful, because I did enjoy the first game. It was my go-to chill game when I just wanted to vibe with chat, and like when I didn't want to do just chatting, but I wanted to do just chatting. Do you know what I mean? Where I didn't want to be in that category per se, but I just wanted to have high interaction.
We play that game very differently, because I actively ignore my chat for like 20 minutes straight.
Really?
I'm like, oh shit, chat, hey, how you doing?
That's fair, yeah. Like, cause like I get in a somewhat flow state, but I can switch off at the same time. You know what I mean? Because
I couldn't eat today, Brian, because I was playing City Skyline fucking 2.
True. Were there any other games?
Whose fault is that?
That's also true.
Colossal Order, because the developers are trying their fucking damnedest, despite of the absolute shit sandwich put on their plate.
Who? Sorry.
Colossal Order are the developers.
Oh,
Paradox
sorry.
is the publisher.
That's fair. Were there any other games you two wanted to talk about?
No, I mean I've been playing Elden Ring, but like that's old news until the DLC comes out.
That's fair.
I've actually been chilling out with a game a bit.
Okay, go on.
Peggle.
Peggle? Isn't that the like? I keep hearing about it. Isn't it a browser-based game or something? Like, is it a word game or some shit?
An old. I think is it an old Blizzard game?
I don't know.
I don't believe so.
PopCap, yeah, it's an old Blizzard game.
Oh, okay.
Peggle. You drop a ball and it bounces off the things. It's a very old game. It's a
Right.
very, very old game. Like, I think Pentium 4 era.
Fair enough.
I've been like, I fancy some Peggle, and it was on store for like £1. I'm like, I'm buying fucking Peggle.
Right. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
And it's still good. It is still good.
So you just drop a thing in it, like kind of like a
It's like
plunky thing.
pachinko,
Right.
kind
Right.
of.
Right.
Oh, that's cute.
There are people who know who played that game because it would run on a Pentium 4, you know?
But like some other people have been talking about it recently. Like it's been in the game sphere. So I don't know if like
Guys, that's so weird.
like maybe someone's making a not successor, but a spiritual successor maybe or something.
Maybe it's because Microsoft bought PopCap and all that, and like
Possibly.
put it on there. It's currently $4.99.
Fair enough.
$4.99.
That's fair enough. I'll have to give it a ganders, because like I've seen a few people talking about it. I'm
I
like, where
can't
the fuck does
recommend
Peggle
it as
come
a
from?
game, but I'm like, oh, Peggle, and then I'm playing Peggle for like 3 hours.
Do you know what the worst thing is about Peggle? Is
What?
it's called fucking Peggle, and I'm a millennial in the year 2024, and I'm like, that sounds like a dirty thing, kind of thing. I have been corrupted
There's
by
nothing
the
wrong with pegging.
internet.
It's pegging season. I mean,
There's no.
Peachy's just
nothing wrong
going
with
for a
pegging.
good Peggle, that's all.
so it's from the era of Bejeweled, Zuma, all those
Yeah.
PopCap games. That's where it's from.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm playing it. Do I recommend it? No. Am I having more fun than I should out of £1? Absolutely.
I mean, at
It
the end
might
of the
be
day,
not.
that's what matters, isn't it? If
Yeah,
you're having
true.
a giggle, then you're having a giggle, and no one can take that away from you.
You having a
Um,
giggle?
Having a giggle. So
You're having a
Having a giggle.
I've only been playing technically one game, briefly a second game. Pulp's probably familiar because she's raided me twice at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right, what are you playing?
Path of Exile me. It's the new
Oh my
league.
god.
Came
The
in one of your
new league.
streams, and the
Two
first thing I
or
said, I was like, "He's
one?
been live for 9 hours."
Yeah, I think 2 of the streams were like 16 hours long, and then there's been a 10-hour
Oh my
one.
God.
Yesterday was only 6 hours.
Bless your heart. I cannot go past 5. Like once I hit 5 hours, I'm like, I'm done. I'm so tired.
Thing is, I could have gone longer, but then I'm like,
Oh.
I should sleep for my health, kind of thing. Like,
You only stopped because you thought I should stop.
yes, basically.
He stops because he's like, I might die if I keep going.
Pretty much. It's like
He'll be that cautionary tale.
yeah, I
of
don't want to
people who
be
addicted to-
in like Kotaku where it's like pirate looking man has a seizure at his desk playing Path of Exile, dies from blood clot or something to that effect. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is a game called Peglin.
no,
And it's a roguelike Peggle.
a roguelike Peggle. There's nothing sound sacred anymore. It's just I just can't hear that word.
It's just progressively getting worse at this point.
It just sounds bad. Sorry, you were
I
saying
did
something?
pick up a game. I did pick up a game not too long ago. Because we were talking about Metroidvanias. Ender Magnolia, which is the sequel to Ender Lilies, and I was really into that one. I'm not going to stream it. I just because I'd like to zone out on those, like completing the maps and everything like that.
Right.
And it's still in early access, so but so far it's been pretty decent. That's the other one I was playing.
That's fine. When it comes to PoE,
It is no pegging involved.
there's no pegging. PoE also has no pegging. The new league has been great. It was a lot of people were concerned because the last league was very generous with loot, and people were expecting there to be like a loot drought this time, because sometimes when you have a really good loot filled season, it kind of makes the next one feel bad. But they've actually made it like quite good this season with like the crafting and stuff. It's a different way of acquiring loot. They've added new stuff to the campaign as well. So even though you're doing the campaign for like the 1000th time, there's still new things to discover and experience, and it just changes up the experiences as a whole a little bit to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
I also checked out the Diablo 4 PTR. So they're doing a PTR, a public test realm, in preparation for season 4, because they're doing a lot of big changes. I blasted through a lot of the new content as part of the PTR. So the new crafting system, which is adding quite a lot more depth to Diablo 4, where it was currently lacking. There's no crafting currently, so the PTR is adding quite a chunk to it, which is good. It's definitely good. I think it's definitely some changes that were needed, because as I've discussed before, there's definitely a lack of depth for a live service game
that you have. I'm looking at your VOD. That focus, laser focus.
Yeah, the map that I'm doing is, so part of the mechanic is when you go into a zone, you have this lamp, and this lamp reveals haunted monsters, and the haunted monsters have different modifiers on them. And one of the modifiers I'm playing with is you assign them to a specific pack. So I assigned it to the most popular, most dense pack. And every time I encounter that pack, it's accompanied by a map boss. So at the end of each map, there's like a dedicated, unique boss. I had a modifier that put a dedicated, unique boss with every pack of monsters, basically. So I ended up fighting 14 bosses in that map instead of just killing the regular
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because you get more loot and for the challenge. So that's why I was concentrating so much, because I was basically constantly fighting boss after boss after boss after boss, all in one zone. And then there's the boss bit at the end that I'm doing here as well. So like there's like weird modifiers like that. You can get modifiers that will drop a specific type of currency orb more frequently, which is quite a big thing, because currency orb is also used in crafting and stuff like that. But it's been really, really fun. The crafting aspect is pretty cool. You can make some insane gear with it. And yeah, it's just been a blast. PoE is the game that keeps on giving. They recently announced the delay for PoE 2, which I'm a little bit sad about, because I was looking forward to it. But if it needs to be in the oven longer, it needs to be in the oven longer. So it's probably not going to be until later in the year, or maybe early 2025. But when that does come out, that's probably going to be my new heroin addiction.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, but that
I mean, and I know Kevin will be in your stream watching because he plays like and I've seen him play in conjunction with you.
yeah, I've seen him popping online. It's like
Yeah.
insane as logged in. I'm like, yes, Kevin, get on that PoE crack,
Yeah.
get it in your veins.
You two are the same. It's funny because like I don't see him so much anymore, but before he got his new computer, he used to sit right next to me, and I'd just watch him like he'd be hours. It's like pulling teeth to get him to remove him. And he's like, I can't. I'm in the middle of a boss. So
Yeah.
it's the same. That's why I'm smiling so much because it's the similarity is so funny.
It is funny as well because like I actually got an item last night when I was playing off stream, and it was an expensive one, so I immediately put it in my trading tab, and so it gets listed. And then I go into a thing called Uber Lab, which is you can't leave. If you leave, you fail it, and you have to pay a price to get into it in the first place. So I'm getting spammed with people trying to buy this extraordinarily expensive thing from me, which I really want to sell, but I'm like, I can't. I'm in the Uber Lab. Forgive me. Kind of thing. Like, please just wait 10 minutes. And then I eventually got out and managed to sell it anyway. But yeah, like you just get so involved in the game.
Yeah.
Especially the build that I'm making at the moment. The build, like, if you're into theory crafting and stuff like that, PoE is so good because you get so much agency. There's so much stuff that you can customize with it when it comes to your skills and stuff. I've put together a build that's probably the best build I've ever made, and I'm very keen to see how far I can push it. And yeah, I would love a Path of Exile hoodie or t-shirt. Eventually, when I'm working again, I'll probably buy the support packs to the point where you can get it. Like, for example, they've got like a $480 supporter pack, and they have loads of cheap ones before it, but you can actually buy each one and it upgrades it, and then you eventually just hit it. If you know what I mean.
I know he's gotten like he has two. He bought the wrong
pound.
He bought this one in the wrong size and had to go size up, so this one's mine.
Right.
But like
Is the other one also?
what is it like? You like accomplish some certain thing? Like I don't know. I'd have to ask him about like what kind of like there's certain like tasks in the game that you accomplish, and that's what like why when he got sent the hoodie or something. I don't know what it was, unless maybe I misunderstood.
They used
got
to
a
do
hoodie from doing something in the game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to.
They do races and stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
They used to do a bunch of events where you could get like stuff. You can get community-based events, and sometimes they'll do. Like the most recent race they did was when it was part of like I think the Ruthless mode that they added, and you got to create items in the game. For example, they've done stuff like that. So there's actually player-created items in the game. They've done races for like cosmetics, like special cosmetics that are limited to those people. They've done physical merch and stuff like that. But you also got the supporter packs where if you spend a certain amount on the packs, that you'll get sent a t-shirt, you'll get sent artwork, you get sent hoodies. You get to choose which ones you want as well. There's not just one hoodie. There's like different ones.
Yeah, that's what he did. Because I remember when he was like, I got a hoodie, and it's like, oh, that's actually kind of neat, dude.
Yeah,
and when he got this one in the mail, it was too small, so he had to go. I think he contacted them, and they gave him the bigger size. Like they're pretty decent about it.
Yeah, it's the payment model for PoE. I think is actually really, really, really good. It's one of those things that it's like if you want to give them a fuckload of money, you do get your money's worth out of it. Like you get the physical merch. You can also build your way up to stuff. You get credited. Like the way it works, you could buy like the $20 pack, and then you buy the $40 pack, but you'll get a discount on the $40 pack because you already own the $20 pack, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And then it all builds up and adds up over time. And I think that's really cool. They do like even payment, monthly payment models and stuff like that. If you email them, crazy shit like that. If you're really that keen. But also it's free, so you're not even obligated to, and you can complete the entire game. Some would argue that you need to buy stash tabs. I would recommend you buy stash tabs, but that's like $15 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's a small amount for a game that I've got 15,000 hours in or whatever. You know, it's not 15,000. I think it's 1,500 to be fair, but I can imagine it would reach 15,000, and I know for a lot of people it is. Like it's a 10-year-old game kind of thing. So
yeah,
it's one of those live services that I will always defend. To be fair, they've done right. I would argue that I wish the stash tabs weren't premium and that they were just free. because it's a pay to convenience thing at that point, and that, you know, that touches into the pay to win category. But outside of that, I would also argue they probably have changed their stance on it as well, but they can't exactly revert it, because then they would have to like screw over all the people that paid for it in the first place over the last 10 years. So they've kind of put themselves in a hard place there. But yeah, PoE, it's good 10 years on, and it's probably going to continue being good in the future. And that's all I've been playing. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Peachy?
So anyway, the new Peggle Souls like is coming.
What's that
I'm
one
just gonna
called?
keep talking about
Peglet.
food for Peachy.
Oh, I pre-ordered some Warhammer.
Oh.
The new Nightmare box is out on pre-order now. It's probably gone by the time you're watching this. I got one.
What's the Nightmare box?
It is Night Lords and Drukari something. I know I'm splitting the box with a friend who likes. I can't remember what's in the other box, but it's Night Lords, and I really want Night Lords because I read a book about them and they're very cool.
Right.
Stupid lore makes me want to buy stuff. That doesn't happen to me in video games, but in Warhammer, I'm like, yes, this character is very cool and can see the future. Maybe
it's because you're invested in it, so you want to be more invested in it. That's how
apparently,
it works.
yeah.
It grabs you and takes you. Well, in that case, shall we do shout-outs? Oh,
Sure. Hi, I'm Pulp Fictionally. I'm a former Instagram model turned variety streamer. You can find me on all my social media under Pulp Fictionally, except for Twitter because someone stole my name, which is Pop Fictionally. I've been back streaming, playing a lot of Helldivers, and I'm going through Elden Ring on PS5 in preparation for the DLC that comes out in June. So, but I'm soloing it this time because I'm being a big girl, big brave girl.
big brave girl.
So yeah, I'm not positive what, because it's WrestleMania weekend. I'll be back on Monday streaming more Elden Ring. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Peachy.
Hello. Okay, it's probably on the scene now. My name is Peachy Pixelate. I stream Thursdays to Sundays over on twitch.tv/Peachy Pixelate. I also make Warhammer videos. There's a latest video up is about how to base a bunch of minis, and I'm working on the next one, which is behind me. But you won't know that because you cannot see behind me. It is a veil of secrecy.
Ooh.
Speaking of veils of secrecy, Brian.
I'm confused by that segue, but hi, thank you to my co-hosts, as always, for being spectacular. I've had much fun on this episode, and I will continue to have fun. Probably either later this evening, despite it being 12:30, but I can't, I don't sleep at normal times anymore, okay? But yes, I will probably be playing some...
Brian?
It's never late. It's always Path of Exile time. That's what time it is. But yes, I will likely either be playing some more Path of Exile this evening, or if I do go to bed at a reasonable time, you can definitely find me on this channel tomorrow with some more Path of Exile. I also posted a video regarding my thoughts on Diablo 4 and the changes. Some good, some bad. You can find out on my YouTube, which is Brian the Pirate. You can also find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, not Facebook. Don't add me on Facebook. And things like that as Brian the Pirate as well. And of course, as I mentioned before, there is the Patreon, patreon.com/fully rendered, and the fully rendered Twitter. Go follow them, go look at them. Maybe you'll be interested in what they offer. Is there anything else that we...
Subscribe to our YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube. Yes, go to our YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube.
Yeah,
and
yeah, do that.
do all
do
the
the thing.
things. Call to actions. But,
It's Peggle season.
It is Peggle
It's Peggle season, baby!
It's Peggle time. That's how it's going to be said from now on.
Hey
We've
guys,
been
have you peggled today?
I had a good
Peachy, did you
peggling.
peggle today?
I didn't Peggle today. I'll make sure I
Okay.
Peggle
He
later.
didn't even go
Okay,
to Insomnia. He just went to his missus and had a good peggling. That's it. But that's going to be it from us this evening. Farewell. Thank you. We'll remember you.
Don't forget to peggle. Bye.
Don't forget to peggle. Ever.